Hi, my name's Noshad, so you guys know me as Sean, Spurs Video Podcast. Apologies, this YouTube's been rather late. Sadly, it's not very close to me. My nephew, who's 23, he died as a result of his complications from his cancer. And so that was last Wednesday, and I really wasn't in the mood to do any YouTubes for a while. Uh, but, you know, life does go on. And to Raju Sikder, or Biplup, as we affectionately call him. I used to call him Mama, and you're going to be sadly missed. Life does go on, and let's get to it. The Arsenal game. Um, I would say this. I know a lot of Spurs were confident. I was as well. I thought we could go for it. I did mention that I had kind of fears of whether Paulino and Bale could work well together. I'm sorry, but I think those fears are justified. People, here's my rationale. Both box to box, very similar to, I don't know, here's a couple of English box to box players who, despite many managers, have never really played well together. Gerrard and Lampard, everyone's tried it, it's never worked. You come against very good opposition, and you can have one or the other, you can't have both. And, unfortunately, Dembele hasn't really got the incisive passing, or hasn't got that willingness to shoot from distance, or the ability to shoot from distance, therefore he doesn't really take that many shots. And sometimes I just think Paulino's a slightly better player. And I think although he drove much of our midfield last season, I really think, I think we've got much better players this season. And given the choice, I think he's going to go with Sandro and Paulino to anchor that midfield. Obviously, Paulino will try to look to break forward quite a lot, get beyond the striker. And obviously, Sandro will be sitting a bit more, but I'm sure he'll get forward, given the chance. And I think, obviously, we signed Christian Eriksen very late on Friday afternoon, which is a very good deal. Obviously, the Arsenal game's still kind of buried in my memory a little bit. I kind of knew as soon as I saw Danny Rose, we're offside, but there's like the line is completely hasn't held, that they're going to score. I thought they know their position, and I realised Michael Dawson's actually playing Giroud, and I know some idiot gave him scored him 0. I would never score anyone play a 0. I don't think it was, were there mistakes made? Yeah, everyone made mistakes. I think the only player that didn't make any mistakes was Hugo Lloris. I think he had a blinder of a game. So much so, I think it might have hurt him for France, because I think he had a bit of clang, a couple of days ago. I think as we are now filming. So I think it's unfortunate that a lot of Spurs say, "Oh, we've put Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker didn't play great. Danny Rose wasn't brilliant. Yamato was okay, but really our best player really was Hugo Lloris. I mean, it could have been at least 2-0, very very close. I mean that it wasn't a penalty, but my God, even half an inch slower, Walker would have gone down, would have been down to 10 men, and it could have been another 5-2 or something. So definitely, Hugo Lloris is my man of the match. There was a bit of confusion. I think there's a bit of confusion over who leads that midfield, and it's very odd because Dembele just hasn't got that incisive passing. I mean, I know it's weird. He started off as a striker, and he's obviously converted back to defensive midfielder. And we know he can shoot from distance, and we know he can goes past players, but there's just not enough end product to that. And I didn't see. I mean, I remember, was it a joke years ago that Frank Lampard couldn't be found on Tonton, were invisible, and I think Dembele was invisible for most of that game. So I mean, people want to blame Chadley. I think he faded. It was difficult because Soldado was isolated. If you've only got one target and he's got two strikers, two defenders marking him, I don't care how much of an injury he is in his movement. He needs support, and we struggled to get enough bodies forward to support him. That's why, and I think Paulino and Dembele were kind of confused of which one would go forward. So, and I think it was very difficult. There was a huge gap between defense, midfield, and attack. And because we weren't able to keep the ball in that area, it didn't give us enough numbers. So you either had to launch a shot from distance, as Andros did many times, or you play across, which is just easy cut out. Thankfully, obviously now you've got Lamela. I'm interested to see how he plays. He's obviously a very different player to Bale. We've seen how good his rival Di Maria is. Got close personal. Man, was on many that really destroyed us. When we played him a few years ago. And apparently did wonderfully against Paraguay, and so Lamela, what was an unused substitute, it can't be nice. I mean, obviously, although it must be great to be able to train with Lionel Messi, or Lionel Messi, I think Lionel is that. To be able to go, train with him, be in the same pitch with him, that must be awesome. But let's face it, you want to be playing if you're traveling all the way, half across the world, and then traveling all the way back, and not even play. That's got to suck, no matter, even if you do get traveling on Messi. So for me, for my money, I think it'll be interesting to see how he starts it. I think I wouldn't. It's hard really because Chadley hasn't been the best. I mean, I saw Belgium play Scotland, and Belgium was just so much better than Scotland. And you always watching Chadley, and he was killing, Scotland. I mean, he was really doing really well. Benteke was a bit isolated, but he put some good crosses in, and I thought, man, he's doing really well. And then you're thinking, oh, this plays well, and then you realise he's the fullback. He's attacking Alan Hutton, so you know, I think that says it all, really, doesn't it? In terms of what we need to do going forward, I would like to see us play maybe Townsend and Lamela, and just have that three floating. I think he'll go. Is he going to go 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3? It'll be interesting. I think personally it'll be a 4-2-3-1. Eriksen in the number 10, Lamela, and either Chadley or Townsend. Really, I think. More likely, I think I'll go with Chadley, because obviously two players can swap flanks if they need to attack. And we don't know if Leonard's going to be fit as well, so that'll be interesting to see how that works. I wouldn't be surprised if we went back to a 4-3-3, but look to bring Lamela, obviously our key, very expensive signing. He's strongest on the inside right, but he can play the number 10. I personally think he'll give him a free role, much like Rafa van der Vaart was, and him and Eriksen, I think, will be hugely important. I think Eriksen does play slide-proof passes. I think we've got a very good player there. In terms of obviously, he came home Sunday from South London. I had to see a lot of Arsenal fans, and that wasn't nice. And he just came home and he found out Gareth Bale had been sold. We all knew. I mean, I've been trying to deny it, but he's been sold. 85.3 million. I wish Gareth Bale pretty well. I think he, obviously the first 3 years wasn't successful for Spurs, but he turned it around. He showed incredible talent and promise, and he's delivered last season. 20 odd goals. And if you watch that compilation the BBC did, it was just amazing. It's just you look at that power and pace, and just honestly, it's like watching a thoroughbred. Lamela's a very different player. Bit more artistry. More a rapier than a samurai sword, but they can both cut. I expect Lamela. This isn't Italy. He will get kicked and pushed and everything. He'll go down looking for a free kick and he won't get given it. That's just the way it is over here. He'll have to toughen up, but I'm sure. Let's face it, Argentina. I think we know that they can play a slightly what I call a cunning game of fouling and trying to get away with it. So I definitely think this is something they can get. I think it's something he's used to. Eriksen, obviously, the Dutch league's a very good, it's a very good league, but let's face it, it's nowhere near as strong as our league. And I definitely think he's going to find an adjustment period. But we saw how Rafa did. Rafa was just amazing. Obviously, he had some time in Germany. Obviously, it's a very equivalent league, and obviously went to Real Madrid. Didn't do as well, but I think we know his qualities and abilities. So I definitely think that here's someone that he's got that Luka Modric radar. He can spot a slide rule pass. Yeah, his shooting isn't the best, but he can dribble. He'll definitely take a shot on goal. So I think we have really struggled for creativity from the middle since Luka left, and now we've replaced it. I mean, there was a game, was it? I think it was Blackburn Rovers, and apparently it was like it was basically the movement and vision of Luka and Rafa, but that doesn't work unless we have plays down the flanks, and that's what opened the pitch up. So I think it'll be interesting to see how that one works. But I'm really happy with that. So, we'll see how. I think I would personally go with 4-3-3. I'm hoping Cabal's fit enough to start, but if not, it'll be Dawson Vertonghen. I think we'll see Chiriches, Chiriches, probably in Europa. I'm assuming it's not cup side. And obviously, saying about Capow being injured, but obviously that was but you looked at it and that looked serious, and you thought, shit, he's gonna be out for months, like 3-6 months something. And fortunately, as far as we know, you can tell, it's 4 weeks. Obviously, 2 weeks have gone through the internationals, and obviously it's not, it's definitely it's a bad injury, but I think 2-3 weeks. By the time we get to play Chelsea, he could be back. So that's all well and good. Norwich, obviously managed by next Spur, did very well against us last season. Got a good draw against us, a credible draw. I mean, Dembele, obviously we had those problems seen last minute, but there was a little bit of distrust between us and the gaffer. I've used the Chelsea reject. I know some Spurs fans still will. But he is our gaffer, and I've got to trust him in this. There's obviously the following day we didn't make any more signings, thankfully. 7 signings, I think. There's an American shuffle. 8 is enough. I think 7 is more than enough. We got trying to blend them in. I think Churches, we kind of know he's one for the future. Eriksen definitely fills a void that we sorely needed. Paulino, but I think even though it's diehard Lloris Super Scott Parker would agree that Paulino, I think, is a better player. And Capoue, for what we saw, alright, he may not have the wonderful hollow passes of Huddleston, but you tell me people weren't impressed. I think we saw he's a good player. He's got a good eye for a pass. Maybe not the same as Huddleston, but definitely a credible player. So once they blend in, Soldado, we get in service and really just get bodies into the box. If we can improve our off-the-ball movement, I think that'll happen just by us passing the ball a lot better. I think creativity, we've had a problem. Gareth Bale mastered a lot of that with some incredible individual performances, and hopefully as a team, we'll play better. I mean, I don't know. People say, "Oh, Spurs at 100 million," maybe, but we recouped about 85.3% of that. And if you include Dempsey for 6 million, Parker 3.5 million, and Livermore 5 million. So what? See, I my maths at 91.3, 3.5. I don't know. I'm really bad at maths. No, 91.8, 3.5. Anyway, but it's a shitload of money. I haven't got my calculator to hand. So, but yeah, 5 million. So that's what. So 5.25 million plus 6 million. That's what. That's already at 96 million, 96.3 million or something. And 96.35, and then what? 3.5. So what? Basically net spent of what, £500,000. It's impressive. And when we rebuilt the team, and more probably than leave it to last minute deadline. Obviously, Ozil going to Arsenal didn't actually cheer up a lot of Spurs fans. Say, what about the special relationship? Look, none of us know it's a special relationship. None of us know. Number one. And I said, check out the other YouTubes. I said, this is like peace in our time. Not that I want to compare Real Madrid to the Nazis, but they were Franco's club. Just saying. But not that Darren Franco was ever a fascist or anything. Or maybe he was, I don't know much about the Spanish Civil War. All I'm saying is, it was a safe base. We had 40 million the previous year, went down to 33. He had to sign safe base, and he did that. Obviously, I don't want to see this seen as a feeder club, but let's face it, 85.3 million. There is no way Gareth Bale is worth that much money. No way. Absolutely not. He had one incredible season, and he's had some superb performances, but no way is he at Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi level. I mean, Ozil, 42 million, they're going to regret that. I think he's at Real Madrid. I mean, I saw Ozil playing for Germany. I thought he was superb player. His vision, he runs the game, he puts his foot in. Great, it's just I think he's a complete midfielder. He's an attacking midfielder. Oh man, superb. And I can understand why he wants to go. I asked a German mate of mine, a guy called Stuki, Peter Sixwich. I said, who's the most important player for your German side? And is it him? Is it Muller? Is it Cruz? And he goes, no, Neuer, Schweinsteiger, Lahm. Because those three are very hard to replace. But I mean, Muller and Cruz are amazing. Goetz is amazing. They've got some superb players. But Schweinsteiger is almost impossible to replace for the German team. And we saw, a couple of years ago, when, was it last year? Was it 15 months ago now? When Bayern Munich, he wasn't playing for them, how much they really struggled without him. He's a very, very important player to Bayern Munich. So I think definitely, there's so many players. They've got, obviously Chelsea. They've got Andros who's at Chelsea, Draxler, obviously Aaron Lewis Holtby, Muller, Cruz, Goetze. I mean, they've got. Man, they've got. I run out of how many players they've got, and they're just so blessed with talent. He's got to be thinking, I've got to be playing week in, week out, and Premier League's a good league. I should might as well shoot on. Obviously, Di Maria, is he more of a sure of his place than Lamela? Probably, but Lamela's got to be thinking, well, you know what? He's got a lot of pressure on him, and he's got a high price tag. But I think he can deliver, and he can really push Lamela Di Maria all the way. So yeah, it's obviously he's not. And people say, oh, they shouldn't have sold it. Oh, we got done by Kepa, and people saying we should get rid of it. But it's stupid. Like, special relationships don't really work in football. This whole they do work if you're trying to bypass EU citizenship rules. Get someone, I don't know, EU citizenship, like get someone in 3 years. Oh, he's now Belgian. Yeah, that works. Get a kid over 16 from, I don't know, from whatever kid, from like 14 or something. He's there 3 years. Yep, he's now Belgian, or he's now Danish or Swedish or whatever. Yeah, if you want to circumvent those rules, go for it. Yeah, that works. But realistically, commercial relationships very, very rarely work, especially when you are talking about clubs that are one's much more economically powerful than the other. So much. We may have agreements to do stuff with some teams in Hong Kong and maybe International, first option, but on the homegrown players. But then again, it's Oscar. So I'm not too sure about this. So like I said, no one knows, and that's us. We want transparency. Unfortunately, because it's privately held, they don't tell us about shares if they don't want to. I heard some really stupid things on this personal podcast, and even more, which I thought was a bit asinine, really. But the way I look at it, we don't know what's in the, yes, Gareth Bale, did he want to go? Yeah, but he had 4 years left in his contract. We could have made him stay easily. Luka Modric should have made him stay. He eventually went, but he put some good performances in the year, in his final season anyway. I still think that Gareth Bale could have made stay if he wanted to, but they thought, you know what, he doesn't want to go, and it's a good deal. Let's go for it. 85.3 million. Now, do you know what? If I think Gareth Bale's a superb player, he's got a lot, has a lot to be able to do. He's got a lot to learn. He's probably at the best club to learn at. There's just incredible level of talent there. I wish him all the best, but he might. I think his first game, I think Marcelo's injured, and so is Contral, so he can play at left back. So he's paid £85 million for a left back. Go for it. We saw how good he was, the left back last year against QPR. Go for it. I'm really like to see how well he does. Like I said, it'll be I wish him all the best. And there's been a lot of abuse in it. I'm like, no, I don't blame the guy. He's a young kid. He's only got 200,000 a week. There's a shitload of money for him. Marketing rights, everything. And he does well there. He's set for life. I honestly hope he'll come back one day. I hope. After playing 3-4 years there, he'll maybe want to come home and come back to the UK and hopefully come to Spurs. But I wish him well, and I'd like to thank him for everything he did. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode of YouShubes. I'm sorry I'm not as enthused about it. Obviously, the loss of Raju has kind of affected me a little bit. I'm hoping that future YouTubes will be a bit better than this. And thank you very much as always for listening. And please, comments, definitely have to hear from guys at Super Spurs and Follow the Batsy and Major Hank, all you guys, Kevin G, hit me with your comments. And thank you as always. And that's how I set up. Lloris, same back four, playing against Arsenal, maybe Cab, Dawes, 3 in the middle, Paulino, Sandro, and Eriksen, 3 up front, Soldado, Lamela, Townsend, and Janley. And see how Lennon does. Obviously he's injured, I think. And Aaron Lennon on fire, combination of those two speeches on either flank. Very interesting. Anyway, as always, thank you for listening, and come on, you Spurs.